Have you ever come home after a long day of work feeling absolutely tired? Like not just tired, but exhausted. Yeah, I get it. You are not alone in this. Around 98% of the people all around the world feel this way. Now, let's look into how this affects different categories of people across the globe. First, let's look into the school students. Now, students experience a drop in academic focus and are already cranky. They are immersed in addictive screen times. You know that. Dependency. Now, skipping their dinner or eating junk foods, irritability, mood swings, and most importantly, social withdrawal. Yes, they withdraw from the family time or even ignore messages from their own very close friends. Now, what about the working adults? Of course, after a long day, they feel lack of motivation from their work. And working on personal projects? Impossible. Increased arguments in their home, mindless screen time, dependency on caffeine or alcohol, burnout, and low self-esteem. Now, what about elders? Now, elders are also losing their energy, their memory, physical instability, and lack of interest in hobbies, in their own very interest. They have lost hope. Even hobbies like gardening, reading, or even puzzles. Now, when you keep this issue unresolved, what happens? It results in disorders. Let's look into what are these disorders. And the very first thing that you can see is the depression, anxiety, constant mental overthinking. It can drain energy a lot, leading to a crash by the evening, and chronic stress, burnout syndrome. There is also this seasonal affective disorder called as SAD. Now, people may feel more exhausted as daylight fades in the evening time, especially during winter months. ADHD, the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Now, many adults experience an energy crash in the evening due to executive function overload. And some of the physical conditions that include is adrenal fatigue, poor quality of sleep, especially at the night time, hypothyroidism, anemia, iron deficiency, and also diabetes. And maybe that's exactly why you avoid doing anything creative or productive, especially after 5 p.m. in the evening times. You are just wiped out. Now, since this problem is ever existing and the temporary solutions are also very common, let's look into these temporary solutions. Now, what are they? Evening drinks. Now, most people think that the only way to deal with evening tiredness is by grabbing a coffee or tea. Caffeine. They stimulate your central nervous system by blocking adenosine. It's a chemical that tells your brain that you are tired. Now, this caffeine forces your adrenal glands to release more adrenaline and cortisol. These are the stress hormones, and this gives a short burst of energy, but later causes a crash, leaving you even more fatigued than before. It interferes with your circadian rhythm and sleep quality. They cause dependency over these drinks. It's a chemical push, it's not a recharge. They don't rejuvenate you, they just mask and they don't heal. Now, the next fake solution to this tiredness is, of course, the social media. Now, others try scrolling through the social media, hoping for a break. But as you know, scrolling gives short dopamine. It's a feel-good hormone. But those hits are artificial and exhausting over time. You end up feeling more drained, mentally foggy, and even anxious. It robs your time and sleep. Now you are bombarding it with fast visuals, emotional content, and all this leads to an overload. Now this overstimulates your central nervous system and increases fatigue rather than reducing. What about the other fake solutions? The next one is, of course, the evening nap. Some people think that sleeping during tiredness or taking an evening nap is the best way to fix it. But let's be real. It takes time. It messes with your sleep cycle and you never quite know how long you're going to nap. You wake up groggy and lose even more hours. It's not in your control. Evening naps reduce your sleep pressure at night. The body's natural urge to sleep deeply, leading to sleep debt and insomnia. It doesn't boost energy. It delays it. Sleep is a shutdown. Now, what you actually need is an energy reboost, not sleep. You need a cellular activation. You need oxygen flow and nervous system balance. So some people try other remedies as well, but all those are usually temporary. They take up a lot of time and don't leave you truly refreshed. So now we have a question. Is there a way you can spend minimum time, a natural way that can help you rejuvenate the body, that can make you feel fresh to the body and mind, and more importantly, you feel the morning freshness and look forward for the rest of the day with more energy? Even after a day-long work in the evening, can you feel that? Now, addiction in many cases also stems from chronic tiredness. Now, when your body and mind are all worn out, you are more likely to chase stimulations, whether that's caffeine, as we saw before, social media, or any other habits. But once you are free from that exhaustion, the craving often fades. So let's get into the real solution instead of talking about these fake solutions. So what is this real solution? That is a simple meditative process you can follow and practice 15 minutes every day. And by the end of it, you will feel completely refreshed. Just like as fresh as you can feel after the morning. Naturally. It sounds impossible, right? But just imagine, what if it was true? You just need to experience it. That's it. Once, if you experience, you would know better. It is a natural practice. It takes only just from 12 to 15 minutes, and that can leave you feel energized. It can feel you awakened and almost like you have had a full night's sleep in just 15 minutes. Really. Let's look into how a hard-working couple, they came out of this tiredness and they're currently super productive in their life and they are living their dream life. Yes. In fact, we have tested this process with at least hundreds of people from different age groups. How? By conducting free sessions. And the results are astonishingly consistent. So very surprised. They all used the same meditative approach of the process, which was named as the ATM, which is called as anytime meditation. Yes, you can use this process anytime throughout the day. And that's what we are going to do. And that's what we are going to look deeper now. Today, I want to share with you a very beautiful story, a real transformation that shows how powerful even 15 minutes of yogic practice can be. Let's talk about this couple, Arjun and Meera, a regular working couple, just like many of us. Now, Arjun was a techie, clocking in long hours, and Meera was juggling a freelance work while raising their two teenage kids. And by 5 p.m., they were totally drained, physically tired, mentally foggy, and even emotionally on the edge. So their evenings full of arguments. They had late dinners, and the house was feeling almost like a war zone than a home. And their kids were glued to their phones, screen times. And Arjun struggled with back pain, and Meera with anxiety. They had dreams of starting a food business, but that was just a dream. They had shelved it. Why? Because no energy, no clarity, no peace, no time. And then they discovered this 15-minute meditative process, energy process, that was offered to them in those free sessions. It was simple, natural, and it was rooted in the yogic science. And they thought, what do we have to really lose? And they started practicing it together along with the family. In the first week, it felt like a little strange. They felt stillness, and stillness was new to them. But by day 4, the changes began. They weren't reaching for caffeine or Netflix to unwind anymore. Just fewer fights. They can see that reducing it. More presence. Even the daughter noticed. You both seem calmer now. That was what she saw in them. And by week 2, something beautiful happened. Arjun's headache just vanished, and Meera started sleeping better. So they began cooking together again, and it was more fun time and laughing, and their kids curious and soon joined them. Their son even said, I can actually focus longer hours while studying. Now by week 3, they did something bold. They opened a small food stall on the weekends, just on the weekends, to test it out. And the whole family was involved in it. No burnout, just focus, energy, and joy. And meditation in the evening became their absolute priority, their sacred family time. And fast forward to 3 months from now, their stall became a local hit. Arjun reduced his working hours. Meera built an online order system. And their teams were also inspired by this, and they launched a snack delivery service in their dorm. And then by month 6, they opened a full-fledged evening restaurant. A peaceful little space filled with joy, good food, and deep connection. They now meditate daily. Yes, because that's what that brought happiness. They work together as a family and even travel once a month. Their dream life, it began with just 15 minutes a day of something ancient, which is of healing nature, and scientifically it's very powerful too. So what changed? Evening chaos turned into calm bonding time. Energy crashes turned into sustainable, natural vitality. Now disconnected relationships turned into emotional clarity and connection. And dormant dreams turned into a thriving business. Now, The screen addicted teens, they became young entrepreneurs. And no, it wasn't just about these yoga poses. It wasn't about sleep. It was about this 15-minute yogic meditative process that they underwent. One that resets the nervous system, clears all the mental clutters, and fills you with the same fresh energy you will feel at 7 a.m. in the morning. So, if you are feeling tired, foggy, or stuck, maybe it's time to rethink, to try this simple process, this sacred practice, because sometimes all it takes is 15 minutes a day to completely rewrite your own life. Now let's look into this process. What is this process? What is this ancient ATM meditative process tool? So today, I want to introduce you to a powerful and a simple practice. 15-minute meditation tool we call the ATM tool. In short, anytime meditation or medicine. Now this practice is not just relaxing, it is a scientifically rooted in nature and designed to help you reset your mind, reset your body and energy, even in the middle of your busiest day. Let's start with something fundamental. Let's talk about healing. What is healing? And what is true healing? Now, true healing must be quick, must be natural, and deeply rooted in what you already have. And what you have already. We are made up of 5 elements: the earth, water, fire, air, and space. And these are not just poetic or symbolic, they are the building blocks of life. And any healing that ignores even one of these aspects should be incomplete, right? So how does this tool work? We bring in all the 5 elements through the ancient techniques, merged with modern ease to awaken the natural intelligence of your body. Let's look into each element. First, the fire element. Now, through practices like sun gazing at sunrise or sunset, we can usually stimulate our inner clarity and mental calmness. And in this ATM process, we use sound. Now, sound is being used as a vibrational element to cleanse the fire element in the body. Let's look into the air element. By using breathing techniques like alternate nostril breathing or the Nadi Shodhana or the Bhramari pranayama, the humming breath, we balance the nervous system and enhance focus and clarity. And similarly, some simple, specific breathing techniques that can give instant energy is used in this ATM process to activate the air element in the body. The space element, now practicing moments of intentional silence or mauna as you call, even a few minutes a day, clears mental clutter and reconnects us to intuitive aspect. Specific affirmations that activates the prefrontal cortex have been used in this process. And what about the water element? Now, water element inside the body constitutes 70%. And so, we use specific herbal nourishments like mint, lime or tulasi, for example, that hydrates and soothes the system. These are Ayurvedic practices. And it's emotional nourishment, not just physical. It brings balance to the water element. And the earth element, we connect to the earth through grounding yoga poses, through postures like child's pose or mountain pose, for example, or by simply walking barefoot on natural ground. But in ATM process, we use specific exercise to activate the prana or life force that centers and stabilizes us. So this 15-minute meditation tool we use combines all these principles, all these elements. They use the sound healing, breath work, the guided affirmations, and all of this have been presented in a course format, including the practice audio, which you can use in your everyday. So it's a pocket-sized recharge for your body, for your mind and emotions. You don't need a yoga mat. You don't need a teacher in front of you. You just need a quiet corner, your headphones, and the willingness to give yourself these 15 minutes. Whether you are feeling tired, overwhelmed, or feeling disconnected, this process gently realigns your inner energy. So remember that healing is not something you find outside. It's something you unlock from within, using what nature has already given us. And true healing is possible only when you activate the 5 elements inside the body. Let's not forget that. Otherwise, healing is just incomplete. For we are made up of 5 elements. Now, what's the next process? So please do join our masterclass course to learn exactly how Arjun and Meera and their family transformed their tired lives into a thriving legacy. In just 15 minutes a day, we have clearly explained how to perform these practices in this masterclass course. And I have personally walked you through why the simple, natural practice works and how it can help you become better, more energized, more creative, more productive person. Imagine being able to work long hours without burnout and feeling more lively, naturally enthusiastic, and actually enjoy what you do, all while reducing all the addictive habits that you think. Now we are offering this to a marginal price, and there are also other events that happen along with this. So maybe you can also join our other live sessions, practice sessions that happen every Saturday. We will provide those information, and you can also be part of our community and interact with all the resources that we provide. So please do hurry up, and I will see you in the masterclass course.